In the endless tapestry of the multiverse, a celestial dance of power and destruction unfolded in the cosmos. Galactus, the Devourer of Worlds, roamed the stars with his insatiable hunger. Heralded by the Silver Surfer, his arrival was both a prophecy and a death knell for civilizations that dared to gaze upon his might. Yet in a distant corner of existence, the whispers of an ancient god stirred. A god of vengeance, protector of travelers under the moonlight, and enforcer of divine justice. Khonshu, the Egyptian moon deity, sensed a disturbance unlike any he had encountered before. Galactus had set his sights on a world sacred to Khonshu. Known as Saqqarim in mortal tongues, the planet was a celestial nexus, a bridge between dimensions, and a spiritual anchor for those who worshipped the pantheon of ancient gods. Its destruction would ripple across realities, severing Khonshu's link to his mortal agents and endangering the very balance he sought to maintain. In his temple on the astral plane, Khonshu gazed upon the moonlit sands, his silver crescent staff gleaming with ethereal light. The cries of his followers reached him, their prayers echoing like a haunting melody. Galactus had sent his herald to warn the inhabitants of Saqqarim. The Silver Surfer, with his cosmic surfboard shimmering with the power cosmic, delivered the ultimatum: surrender the planet or face annihilation. But Saqqarim was no ordinary world. The people were not alone. Khonshu's influence was woven into the very fabric of their existence. Though he rarely intervened directly, the looming threat of Galactus forced the deity to break his usual restraint. Galactus, Khonshu intoned, his voice reverberating across dimensions. You trespass on sacred ground, a domain protected by the moon's light and my eternal will. You will not feast upon Saqqarim. Galactus, unfazed, turned his gaze toward the astral projection of Khonshu. His towering form, an amalgamation of cosmic energies and ancient power, dwarfed the deity's manifestation. Mortal gods, Galactus rumbled, his voice deeper than the void. Your domains are insignificant to me. I am the balance. I am the hunger that sustains existence. Step aside or be consumed. Khonshu knew that words would not dissuade the Devourer. He called upon his avatars, mortal champions bound to his will, to prepare for the battle ahead. But even they were powerless against the cosmic might of Galactus. Khonshu realized that he would need to descend fully into the mortal realm, a rare and dangerous act that would risk destabilizing his essence. As Galactus's world-consuming machines began their descent upon Saqqarim, Khonshu materialized in the heavens, his full form radiating the brilliance of 1,000 moons. The sky turned silver as his crescent staff glowed with an otherworldly aura. The Silver Surfer, sensing the surge of divine energy, paused mid-flight, gazing in awe at the god's manifestation. Step aside, herald, Khonshu commanded. Your master's hunger shall find no satisfaction here. The Silver Surfer hesitated, torn between his loyalty to Galactus and the undeniable presence of a true deity. But Galactus would not wait. With a gesture, he unleashed a surge of cosmic energy toward Saqqarim, a prelude to its consumption. Khonshu raised his staff, summoning the power of the moon to shield the planet. The collision of energies lit the cosmos in a blinding display as two forces, one celestial, the other divine, began their titanic clash. The battle for Saqqarim had begun, and the cosmos held its breath.
Are you just watching?
Subscribe, please.
The void crackled with cosmic energy as Galactus unleashed waves of raw power against the shimmering barrier conjured by Khonshu. The moon god stood resolute, his crescent staff anchoring his shield of lunar energy, but even he could feel the strain of resisting the hunger of a primordial force. Galactus, unmoved by the god's defiance, raised his hand, summoning his world ship Tar-2. Its colossal form loomed behind him, casting a shadow that seemed to blot out the stars. Khonshu, unrelenting, struck first. With a sweep of his staff, he called upon the full power of the moon, channeling its energy into a blinding beam that tore through the vacuum of space. The blast struck Galactus squarely in the chest, momentarily staggering the cosmic giant. Saqqarim's people, watching from the planet below, erupted in cheers, their faith in Khonshu reignited. But Galactus was not so easily subdued. He raised his arms, absorbing the moon's energy into himself, feeding his insatiable hunger. The axe sent a shockwave across the cosmos, disrupting Khonshu's connection to the planetary ley lines he had anchored. The moon god gritted his teeth, planting his staff into the astral sands of Saqqarim, drawing power directly from his worshippers. "I will not allow you to desecrate this world," Khonshu bellowed, his voice shaking the very fabric of reality. Galactus answered with a surge of the power cosmic, a tidal wave of energy that tore through Khonshu's shield, shattering it like glass. The god staggered, his silver form dimming, but he refused to yield. He leapt forward, his staff transforming into a crescent blade that hummed with celestial power. Khonshu slashed at Galactus, each strike carving arcs of radiant energy through the void. Galactus, wielding his infinite might, countered with beams of destruction that could reduce galaxies to dust. The two forces collided, creating shockwaves that distorted time and space, throwing stars out of alignment and collapsing distant nebulae. The Silver Surfer watched from a distance, torn between intervening and respecting the will of his master. Khonshu, realizing brute force would not suffice, shifted his tactics. He tapped into the dreamscape, manipulating the celestial tides that governed Galactus's own psyche. For a brief moment, Galactus faltered as visions of his former self, Galan of Tar, flashed before him. A mortal being standing on the precipice of cosmic rebirth. "You were once one of them," Khonshu whispered, his voice echoing in Galactus's mind. "A protector, not a destroyer. Do you not see the ruin your hunger leaves behind?" Galactus roared, shaking free of the illusion. "I am beyond such mortal concerns. I am the Devourer, the cosmic constant." His voice thundered as he unleashed a pulse of energy that sent Khonshu hurtling through the stars. Wounded but unbroken, Khonshu rallied, summoning an army of astral constructs, silver jackals and spectral warriors shaped from the faith of his followers. They swarmed Galactus, their divine energy searing his colossal form. Galactus swatted them aside, but their assault gave Khonshu the opening he needed. He thrust his crescent blade toward Galactus's core, aiming to sever the very energy that sustained him. The blade struck true, piercing Galactus's armor and sending waves of divine light cascading through his being. Galactus staggered, his cosmic essence momentarily destabilized. But the Devourer of Worlds was not so easily undone. He grasped Khonshu in his immense hands, his grip like the weight of a dying star. "Foolish god," Galactus rumbled. "You are but a flicker of light before the infinite void." Khonshu struggled, his form flickering as Galactus drained his energy. Yet even in the face of annihilation, the moon god refused to yield. "As long as there is light in the night, sky, I will endure," he declared, his voice resolute. With one final act of defiance, he unleashed a surge of lunar energy from within himself, forcing Galactus to release him. Both combatants were weakened, their immense powers pushed to their limits. Galactus, though wounded, began to stabilize, his hunger reignited. Khonshu, his divine essence flickering like a waning crescent moon, hovered in the void, his resolve unshaken. As Galactus prepared to unleash his final attack, the faint light of Saqqarim's moon began to grow brighter, fed by the prayers of the planet's inhabitants. The celestial energy surged into Khonshu, rejuvenating him for one last stand. The battle was far from over, and the cosmos trembled as the Devourer and the moon god prepared to clash once more.